name is Chef Swole, and we are doing a challenge to defeat Elden Ring with all 411 unique weapons in the game. For each one, we're going to be breaking down the optimal starting class for that one. We're going to be breaking down what stats you should upgrade, in what order. Are there any key numbers you should hit for on those stats? Do you need 15 endurance, 20, 30? What is the soft breaks for strength if you're using a strength weapon? How much dexterity you need, etc. Is the weapon best run with one weapon to hand in it, one of the weapons in each hand? How does this weapon perform against each of the 14 required bosses to beat the game? Today, we are going to be answering all those questions and more as we talk about the Guts, Greatsword, and Elden Ring. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and without further ado, let's get into the starting class. The best starting class for using the Greatsword is the Hero starting class, because this class brings us the closest starting stats to wield the weapon. Now, as a reminder, the requirements for the Greatsword is 31 strength and 12 dexterity. The Hero class brings you in at rune level 7 with 14 points into your health, 9 into your mind, 12 into your endurance, a whopping 16 points into your strength, 9 points to dexterity, 7 points to your intelligence, 8 points to faith, and 12 points to your arcanine. So right from the jump, we'll want to go ahead and increase our strength from 16 to 22 if your goal is to just two-hand it. But obviously, if you're running one in each hand, like we're going to be doing in our build, we need to bring that from 16 all the way to 31. Next, we need to bring our dexterity from 9 to 12. And if you add both of those together, you get a total of 18 levels that is going to be required if you choose to use one greatsword in each hand. If you factor in your endurance, right? With the endurance, you need to be at around 30 in order to wield one greatsword in each hand and still be able to medium roll. So because of that, because it takes quite a few levels, really around 20 levels to be able to level up your character, I recommend if you want to use this build to become the Elden Lord, do it in New Game Plus or ahead. So in the order that you want to go ahead and recommend these stats, what I would focus on is obviously the required levels that we just went over. Next, I would make sure and get that endurance to 30 in order to medium roll. So you can medium roll and dodge attacks along with wearing the Raptor's Black Feathers with one greatsword in each hand. Then what you want to do is start working on your health, your vigor. Get your vigor up to 30 for just standard survivability. And if you want to pump a couple points of the strength, that's all right. But what I like to do is take it all the way to 50. Don't stop at 30 at this point. Get it all the way to 50 so you can survive some of the hits from the late game bosses. And once it is at 50, from there, whatever points you have, dump into strength. With that heavy affinity, this weapon's only scaling isn't S-scaling to strength. So now that we know the optimal starting class and how to level it, let's get into the actual build itself. Now, the Greatsword is such a versatile weapon, and you can run so many different builds with it because you can put on almost any Ashes of War in the game on it. You can run it with a blood affinity, strength, etc. So I wanted to come up with a different type of build to play this weapon that you might not have done before that can absolutely clear the game and have a lot of fun. So the Greatsword does need about 18 levels with the Hero class in order to wield one in each hand. So we're going to assume that if you want to play the game with this weapon and this build, you're playing it on New Game Plus or above. So in this, we're going to be dual wielding one Greatsword in each hand, right? So the idea is we have armor and talismans to help us get off the most damage with a jump attack, followed up immediately by this Savage Lion's Claw Ash of War, because when your character does this animation, you have what's called super armor. That means that after you jump attack, when an enemy is trying to counter you, whatever his moves aren't going to hit you, because your attack is going right through it. And this build is set up to maximize that. Oftentimes throughout this challenge, after our dual jump attack with one greatsword in each hand, followed up by that Ash of War, the boss would be staggered. We would critical strike him, and as the boss was getting up, we could just do the whole cycle again. So it was a ton of fun. As far as the breakdown of the build, we have one heavy greatsword in each hand, and they both have the heavy affinity, which is going to help us optimize the damage for strength. In the the one on our left hand, we have the Ash of War Braggart's Roar. Now, what this Ash of War does is it gives us an attack boost and also a stamina recovery boost, which is very important when spamming colossal weapons. We have, again, one colossal weapon in each hand and this Ash of War. So the idea is you want to pop your Psychic Flask, you want to spam the Ash of War, and you want to head into the boss fight. So let's get into that Psychic Flask and the talismans now. On the other hand, again, as we went over, we've got that Savage Lion's Claw. So we pop the Braggart's Roar, get the attack buff, the stamina recovery, and then after we do our dual jump attack, we spam the Savage Lion's Claw, get the super armor to go right through their attacks and stagger the enemy. To maximize our damage with this build setup and these Ashes of War, we have on, you can use the Raptor's Black Feather in the base game. We use the Greybird's Black Quill armor. They both do the same thing. I just think that this one just looks a little bit cooler. But whichever one you select one of them, because that's going to give you a 10% buff when you do those jump attacks. Boom. 10% more damage than it's normally going to do, and that will stack with our first talisman, which is going to be the Claw Talisman. Claw Talisman enhances jump attacks by 15%. I'm not a scientist, but 10% from the armor, 15% from the talisman gives us a total of 25%. Now, again, remember the strategy of this run, of this build with this weapon. That strategy is as follows. Jump attack with both of your blades, hit the Savage Ash of War, which lets us get a lot of super armor and get off a lot of attacks. Because we are going to be using that Savage Lion's Claw, we want an Ash of War to boost up the damage of that talisman, and that talisman is going to be the Shard of Alexander. So that follow-up Ash of War, all three of those attacks are going to get a 15% damage buff thanks to the Shard of Alexander. We have on the two-headed turtle talisman for stamina recovery. If you don't have the DLC, obviously you can use the base game variant. More stamina recovery to stack with our Braggart's Roar. And last but not least, we have on the Dragon Crest Great Shield, because with that Ash of War and our super armor, we will be attacking the enemies through their attack, but oftentimes they will hit us, it just won't knock us out of our attack. So we want some resistance to their attacks. This goes swimmingly with our Psychic Flask, where we have our third, you heard me right, our third stamina boosting item in this build. The Green Burst here does stack with the two-headed turtle talisman, and that does stack with the Braggart's Roar to give us a metric folk tone of stamina recovery. And the second tier that we added in is the Opium Hardtail for more resistances, which again will stack with that Dragon Crest. And this is what the build looks like all together on an enemy. Let's get to our favorite test subject, Vary the White Mask. You pop your flask, you give your Braggart's Roar. We come in with the heavy jump attacks, and we follow it up with the Ash of War. And it really is that easy. If he was able to get staggered, he probably would have. We just took him out right away. But that's the idea. That's the idea behind the build. You want to be able to set it up just like that. More times than not, your enemy is going to get staggered, ready for you to critical strike them, and then do it all over again as it gets up. Now let's watch this build in action against the 14 required bosses of this game, starting with the first boss, Margit. So the beauty of this build is being able to run and close the distance with those dual jump attacks, followed up immediately by the Ash of War. Now Morgott does run away, so we don't immediately get a stagger, but we can just do our setup all over again. And you see right there, that time it works. We're able to get the dual jump attack. Didn't quite get him on the stagger there, but you know what? We finish him off in short work. We weren't able to get the critical strike, but we did get the dual jump. We did get the stagger, and we did get the easy W. Now, Godrick the Golden Weasel is more of the same, so even though we messed up kind of the first dodge reading chat, we're going to get up quickly again. He does get us at the follow-up, but that is one of the great advantages of this run. We can pick our safe winners for when we want to attack, so even if you have a bad start, you know, you're just one. So right there we see the swing, but we know if we just hold back, we find that window with those dual heavy jump attacks. So we'll get one off here, get another one, follow up with the Ash of War. And then you'll see here, we go right through with the super armor. The third one gets the critical strike down, and his transition starts going to second phase. So in this case, we just choose to reapply our buffs. So right when second phase starts, we'll be able to make short work of them. Run right through the fire, the dual jump heavy attack, followed up with the Ash of War 1, 2, and you see he's staggered, letting us get the easy critical strike. finish him off before he really has a chance in second phase, celebrate the W with the lads, and head up to the Academy for the Red Wolf and the Moon Queen. Now, the Red Wolf is a very mobile boss, so sometimes when people use these heavy type of weapons, they can find it hard to open the windows. I like to bait out this attack, dodge through it, immediately follow up with a dual jump attack, and then right there, you see we were able to go right through his magic sword. We did take damage, but it doesn't even matter because we were able to trade with him and do so much more with our great swords. Here, we chose to just be patient. He's charging up some attacks. We're just going to dodge him skillfully, go right to the sword, finish him off with a dual jump attack, tell that dog to sit, stay, heal, and basically be a good boy. And we're going to keep on heading upstairs to the Academy to see our favorite Moon Mommy. Boss. So the Moon Queen, obviously, when phase 1 starts, you got to take out some of the little minions that are glowing. You find the first one, and just one light attack can do the trick, or you can go for the overkill like we like to do with our dual jump attacks. Either way, she's going to be falling down, and you already know with these jump attacks, we're going to be taking her out in one hit here. So one jump almost takes out a third of our health, the second takes out 2/3, and the third one is going to finish it off. Again, that armor with the Claw Talisman just gets us such a high percentage damage buff for those jump attacks. Start a second phase, we did go ahead and pop up our buff to make sure it was still active. Dodge to your hyper beam, and this is where the fun starts, like Anakin Skywalker says. Dual jump attack, we chase her down, and check this out. We'll follow this up with the Ash of War as she summons. We go right through what normally pushes us back in order to finish her off. She did leave us a little dragon, so he's going to cook us slightly as we celebrate the W there, but too little, too late on the Moon Queen. She's down, and now we can continue heading forward to the Atlas Plateau and see if there's a lightning dramatic tree sentinel guarding the way. Looks like there is a dramatic tree sentinel guarding the way, just like we feared, but no worries. We'll hop off horseback here, pop our Psychic Flask, and then we're going to go ahead and apply that buff. Again, that's the Brackett's War Asher buff with our left hand. We'll go back to two-handed, hop on our horse, and watch how this build gets put together against a stationary enemy. He's going to stay there, letting us hit with the easy jump attack. We're going to follow that up with a second. And now, when he starts attacking, that's when we engage right through it. You see the stagger right there. We get our stamina recovered. Jump, follow it up again. One Ash of War, absorb the damage. Two Ashes of War. He's almost one shot. Quick dodge there and finish off the fight. Easy dramatic tree sentinel, difficulty level with the Greatsword, only clocking in at about a 3 on 10. No problem so far. Let's keep on heading out to the capital and see if we can find that golden weasel Godfrey. Looks like we did find that Casper weasel. He's going to spawn in here. Remember, this boss can definitely get staggered, but because his recovery is so fast, you might not want to rely on it. Just focus that open window, jump over his attack there, hit the quick dodge, and then just stay patient. Make sure you're managing your stamina. There's the 1-2 tree swipe. Watch him jump away, letting us punish with a jump attack. And even when you slightly miss it like that, this build is so forgiving on the recovery that if you take a little bit of damage, remember, we have that Talisman, the Dragon Crest Great Shield, and we have the Opian Heart here, so that's going to really make sure we stay at top damage. Right there, we thought that we might have had him low enough to finish him off with the super armor. We were one hit away, so we're going to finish the fight off instead with a dual jump attack. And you can see, even when we're trading with these enemies because of our defensive setup, we are able to take some hits there and punish them out far worse than we can take them. Almost done with the capital. Let's head up and see this Omen King and scramble on them up and get ready to go ahead and head up to the mountaintops of the giants after we dethrone the king. So here he is. We made it up to the throne room. Let's see what's going on in here. We got our buffs on right before we walk in. After the quick cutscene, we're going to end up right in front of Margit. And again, this build and this weapon is all about finding the windows to unleash the power. So right there, we don't see windows, so we dodge. Barely miss him on the jump to stagger him, but you know what? We don't let that deter us. He gets us with a couple 1-2s, and here we find our first window to finally hit him. Big chunk of damage. Follow him up with another jump attack there. He does manage to evade us skillfully, but we can again follow it up with yet another one here. That Ash of War misses him, and our stamina is a little too low to finish him off. But right here, I know I have the animation Instead of getting knocked back by the swords, you see we're able to get in the Ash of War and get him in another hit, recover up, refuel up, and get ready to end the fight right as it starts. Jump attack to close the distance, and now we're not worried about his damage. We know we're going to tank it. 2 Ashes of War, get the stagger, enjoy the critical hits, and that right there is how you scramble an Omelet King, Aiming King, whatever his name is. Or I should say was, he's out of here, and we've got a date with the Fire Giant and the mountaintops. This is the little hill I like to apply my buff. So we drink our flask, we'll go ahead and pop our Braggart's Roar, and now we're actually hop on our horse and charge down that Fire Giant. So he's right over there, he sees us right away, and we're on horseback. What we're waiting for animation-wise is him to start shoveling the snow, hop off, roll right through it, hop back on, and then we'll close the distance right to his left foot, right as we're looking at him, and attack where he is vulnerable. So right there, we almost get it, and the second time is the charm. We're able to get it off there. Now, this is where he's at his weakest in phase 1, so we keep hammering away at that motion there. He rolls. We're able to get one more on the way out and follow him back up quickly on horseback, and to our surprise, we see he actually fell down. We stagger that Weasel from that, so he didn't even get the full roll, and he does it now. No worries, we'll charge down this one as well. As he starts activating his fire abilities, we'll hop off. We know he's pretty close to phase 2, just needs a couple more hits. He did get me with a quick turnaround there, but again, due to our defensive talisman and our defensive tiers, we don't take too much damage. Roll to the next one, keep attacking that ankle. Now we're just one hit away from phase 2, and we activate it right there. And importantly, we've had a couple hits right at the end of phase 1 without a stagger. So going into phase 2, I know he is very close to being staggered again. If we can stagger him right towards the beginning, we can really get in a bunch of hits there on his head, right when he puts his hands down in front of you as the phase starts. So we see him right here. Apply our buff one more time before he puts his hands down in the animation. And once they're down, jump, attack, jump, attack, and I'm hoping for a stagger here, and we get it, baby. He's most vulnerable on his head, so we go over there, get 1 Ash of War, and he gets up just a little too fast for us to get the second one. Starts his Volcano Eruption attack, but at this point, the Fire Giant only has about 10% of his health. We were just able to wail on him so much and all that, and we can avoid the fireballs, hop off the horse, hit him with a couple of jumping dual attacks right there as he goes into the animation to drop the fireballs. You have time to do 3 of them before he rolls away. Whenever there's those fireballs, I like to immediately activate them off of horseback, dodge a fireball, close the distance. A lot of people like to go for his hands. Personally, I prefer to stay on the leg just because the Fire Giant, he does a lot of damage. It's a bit safer. And even if he tries to 1-2 you with a double roll like he tried with us there, you're in a good position to avoid it and not lose a run to some bad RNG. Hop off, attack the leg. He's one shot. We get it. Fire Giant down. We're ready to commit a cardinal sin with our maiden. Double maiden, double cardinal sin, and head over to the crumbling Farmazuka with a date in the Godskin Duo. Godskin Duo is always a tough fight. I like to butt before I go to the arena, and I like to focus on one at a time because as soon as you hit one of them, whether it's the round one or the skinny one, they become much more aggressive to you for the whole rest of the fights, chasing you down. So if you've got both of them chasing you down, it's a lot harder to avoid them. So for that reason, I like to focus on the round one to start because he is a bit more aggressive naturally of the two of them. Even if you got pretty bad RNG like I did here with the skinny one attacking us, as long as you run around in a circle, he's not going to do too much damage, and we get a chance to show off the defensive parts of this build with the Dragon Christ Great Shield and the Opium Hardtail. Get back behind it, and now we're just looking for a window to finish him off. We know he's already had phase 2. We know he's going to be close, and we actually get some pretty horrible RNG with this fight with a second slam, and you'll see actually he gets a second roll off as well. But as long as you fight carefully here, knowing he's 1 or 2 hits away, even here, just choosing your moments to attack and keeping them separated, you'll be able to stay in the fight. So we keep them separated here, we bait off, we're just looking for one kind of free attack here, a fireball, and that's when we get that second one, but it's not over. Just, again, you want to act like you're chasing him. Even when he hits a pillar and switches up his angle, it's not going to hurt you too much. The important thing is not to panic. Keep running after him. If you try to run away, he will roll you down. We're finally able to get that free hit in. And then we charge right through him with the Ash of War, tank his damage, heal up, but the damage is already done. Now we're in our true one-on-one fights here. So since it is a one-on-one fight, all we need to do is wait for a 100% safe window. We reapply our buff, and now we're ready to rock and we're ready to roll. So we'll see here, not 100% safe window, get out. After it, we can hit him with a jump attack, boom, get out. Even if you get hit just a little bit, once he raises that bell, you know he's going to be not long for this road much longer. We finish him off right there as he summons his friend, heal back up, and again, it's all about staying in a one-on-one fight once you take down the first one, and that's what we're able to do here. Reapply our buff to make sure that we have the attack buff, we have the stamina recovery, and now, in my mind, I'm thinking if we just get one more Godskin down, it's GG's and we're on to Malkeith. So we're looking for safe windows, such as the fireball. We get the double dodge, 1, 2, and I know we have a second one for a safe window, and I see that bell. It's a little bit early, but the third jump attack does proc the stagger. We're able to get the critical hit off on him. And in the fight, Godskin Duo down, Godskin Duo dead. Even with poor RNG in the beginning, the build and the strategy is so sound, it's not going to make a difference. The overall difficulty with the Godskin Duo and the Greatswords might not be as easy as, the curved swords, but it's still only a 6 on 10 difficulty as we head to Dust and Death himself, Malkeith. The first time you enter Malkeith's arena, he talks, he doesn't charge you. So for that reason, I like to use our shorter buffs, the one that lasts less time. In this case, Braggart's Roar, right when I enter the arena. He'll do an attack, and now the fun starts. Even with me missing up an attack here, really didn't have the cleanest run with the Greatsword, but even with me not playing my best, the build is so strong, and we're able to follow up and punish these attacks and build up the stagger to where we never end up having a problem. So right here, we see one of his punish windows when he does the twisting knife attack. We're able to get the jump attack. And you notice I have the crit, but we decide not to finish him off right here because when second phase starts, we want to make sure our buff is activated. So we're going to retreat behind the pillar, roar one more time because really when second phase starts, that's when we want to crit this loser, right? We want to get him then not an easy one at the end of first phase. So we bait out his chain attack. And now we know our buff is activated for about another 45 seconds or so instead of it being over. So when the Malkeith phase 2 fight starts, as always, 2 steps to the right, 3 steps back, roll forward. We get our jump attack. And then we get 2. And now it's time for the Ash of War. But unfortunately, he barely gets away. The damage is already done. He's about 20% health. We're able to dodge shoot again. And now we don't matter what his attack is because we're going to go right through his attack due to the super armor of the Savage Lion Claw. Not get back down, attack right through his attack and take down the Death Weasel. Let's turn the capital to Ash and let's check in on our old friend Gideon. And on the way to him, as we're thinking about what we just put Malkeith through, with these colossal weapons, and as long as you time up the staggers like we did, it's really an easy fight. I would say difficulty of Malkeith with the Greatsword, it's only a 1 on 10. You saw complete domination from start to finish, especially when phase 2 started. The Gideon fight is all about grabbing this buff before it and really punishing him at the start. So you'll see us here go ahead and charge him down. And as he's talking his Japanese to us, jump up, hit him with that jump attack, hit him with that second one. And now we slowly see where he rolls to or if he does a spell. If he does a spell, we'll punish him a third time. And we did get some bad RNG there with him kind of trapping us in there, but no worries because we know the tech for beating this boss. We're going to knock him out of his animation, follow him up, jump attack. He's going to try to heal to no avail, and now he's one shot here. We're able to finish him off, roll through the Holy Blades, and keep heading up north to go face the first Elden Lord, Godfrey himself. So for phase 1, you want to fight him just like the ghost there. Again, we really struggle with this run in general, not getting hit by attacks that we normally don't get hit by. But no worries because the build will carry us here. Even with this follow-up swipe attack, even with trading that, getting spanked by that, we never panic and we trust the build. So right here, I think if I remember correctly, yep, we do get hit again, but no worries. We believe in the build. Hit him there, jump and dodge the attack, follow through. 1, 2, and now we get another punish. From here, I know we want to start getting ready for second phase. So hit right there. We're going to want to heal up just from playing bad. So we'll pop 1 potion, 2 potions, and now we're ready to rock and roll. Jump, attack him. He's close to phase 2. Punish, roll right through it, and then get one more punish as he jumps away from us. And now we're ready to rock and roll. And the good news is we put 3 attacks on him. We know the stagger is close. Avoid him. Did we get the stagger? Nope. But you know what? We're going to try following up with the Ash of War, just like we talked about. Hit him with the jump attack, and then again, dodge through, and we're ready to finish off Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Jump attack, dodge through his damage with the Lion's Claw, and finish him off face to face. And that right there is why it's better to be greedy than to be good at the game. Let's fucking go. We know that Radagon starts his fight by standing perfectly still for a couple hits, so pop your buffs before you enter the arena. We're able to get off a couple jump attacks, dodge skillfully, ready to punish again. 1, 2, and then we get a third jump attack with the duel there, and as he rises his leg, we jump through that. We punish him yet again, dodge on his way down, hit another jumping attack, and that's a free stagger right there. As we get the critical hit, we're going to actually punish a little bit different here with a fully charged heavy attack. Get as much stagger on him as possible before he starts his 1, 2, 3 Gland Slam. You'll see it here, 1, 2. Let's punish with a jumping attack. And now we know that we can trade him here. So we take that damage, we hit him with the Ash of War, finish him off, pop our Crimson Pass, pop our Cerulean, and pop our buff. And we're ready for the Elden Beast, because right when the Elden Beast fight starts, we got to run. We got to get behind that Elden Beast before he starts breathing the fire. We got to start getting that stagger damage up, because we want to critical strike this weasel as well. So 1 dual jump attack on the way, 2 dual jump attacks. Now let's get behind him. And we're not quite able to get the stagger. 1 more would have done it before he ran away like a coward. But unfortunately, we were 1 hit away. But the good news is he's just about 60% health remaining. So even though we get the RNG with the range attack, we can run around in circles as the Elden Beast decides to also place something around the posy. He's going to go straight up in the air. No worries. We'll reapply our buff, do a 180, run straight ahead, and we know that the Elden Beast is going to appear right past this ring, directly in front of us. There he is. We'll chase him back down, and he'll run away like a coward. But luckily for us, he's coming for the punish. Dodge to that, hit him with that jump attack, and we know that the Elden Stars is coming, but he switches it up on us. Because of that, we did take a couple hits right here, and we almost lost the fight. We had to dodge right through that last one before we could heal back up. Now we're ready for the Elden Stars. So while he does that, we're going to attempt to punish him, and we don't quite get the stagger. We barely miss out on it again, but you know what? No worries. We know what the Elden Beast is doing. He's going for another round of Ring Around the Posy. If you do get stuck like we did with the Elden Stars, I always like riding through it instead of running away from it. Once you ride through it, it takes a while for the Elden Stars to kind of turn around, find you, and start hitting you again. Hop on your horse, hop over the rings, find the beast, and get ready to finish him up, because he is close. So you see right here, he's swimming away from us, and we see, okay, time to play Ring Around the Rosie again. He's doing that range attack, running circles as it comes down to dodge it, and even if he's far away, well, no worries, we'll hop on our trusty steed, get the distance, miss time, a sword strike, absorb it due to our talismans. 1 strike, 2 strikes, the beast is 1 hit away. He's going to make a grave mistake on the sword strike, allowing us to get that final strike, finish him off, and become the Elden Lord. So with this build and weapon and setup with the Greatsword, we saw the Radagon fight. He was absolutely dominated. His difficulty with the Greatsword is a true 1 on 10. The Elden Beast, he was a little bit harder. He ran away. He had some RNG where we couldn't quite proc the stagger like we did Radagon. A little bit more difficult, but we were never in real danger of dying. Difficulty for the Elden Beast of 4 on 10. Now that we've seen how the Greatsword performs against the 14 mandatory bosses, let's head over, see where it lands on our tier list. Next, we'll see you there. Average difficulty rating on a scale of 1 through 10 for the 14 mandatory bosses required to beat in order to become the Elden Lord using the Guts Greatsword is a 2.5 out of 10. This, of course, makes the Greatsword one of the best weapons in the game. An absolute S-tier weapon for your ability to run it. I definitely put it above the Moonveil Katana. Difficulty-wise, put it even above the Blood Fiend's Arm after some of the nerfs that this weapon got when it was first released in the DLC. Just the ability to wield 1 in each hand, do that dual jump attack, followed up by your savage Lion's Claw Ash of War, stun locking the bosses. It just makes the game a complete cheat code. Use this weapon, don't be sorry for it, and enjoy it. Again, my name is Chesswell. We are beating the game using all 411 unique weapons. How we decide the next weapon is based off of the comments in the YouTube video. So if you have a weapon you want to see, we've been suggested some pretty good ones so far. I want a bit of a challenge. Let me know, maybe some poor weapons, bows, torches, shields, whatever you want. Put it in the comments below. And if we pick your suggestion, we will shout you out in the YouTube video when we do the breakdown for that weapon. Now, what do you think about our assessment of the Greatsword? Do you agree or disagree with placing it in the S tier? What would you run differently if you were creating a build for the Greatsword? Do you think that it is an S tier weapon? Let us know in the comments section below. Again, we are live every Monday through every Saturday, over on Twitch, over on TikTok, doing this run. So for all things Elden Ring, drop a follow, subscribe, and until next time, fellow tarnished, stay maidenless.